Welcome to Offside and Out of Bounds, the cast. We are bringing to you a vlog-style podcast, which will capture some of the events from the week and some news stories. As always, I'm joined with Junior. Junior, what's going on, buddy?
What's up?
What's going on? Are you ready to go?
Let's go!
All right, so we are also premiering our beer bracket. So this is going to be a round of 32 beers that we are going to go head-to-head through our various segments on our channel. So please check those out. Junior, why don't you break down a little bit of the beer bracket for us and tell us what we're in for?
Perfect. So if you've seen March Madness NCAA type style bracket, winner moves on. We got 4 regions: stout, lager, ale, and cider and radler, just because we want to have a good mix of stuff. So what ends up happening is you're moving through the brackets. We'll have a Final Four showdown, and then the winner of that will be crowned. Das Boot.
Das Boot. I love it.
Das Boot.
I love it. I love it. So we are premiering in the lager category today. And we're going to be looking at, I'm going to hold it up there, Junior, Kronenbourg 1664. So this is actually the first beer I ever tasted in my life when I was probably 7 or 8. This is seated at the 5th position.
Yes,
Junior?
they're the 5th seed in the lager division.
All right, here we go. Ready? Oh, that's the one. All right, give me a second here to pour this out a bit.
It smells nice.
It smells delicious, yeah. So we have Kronenbourg, and it's going up against Carlsberg, correct?
Good old faithful Carlsberg.
Yeah.
The king of the Danes.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, awesome. Well, cheers.
Salute.
All right, Junior. Oh, it tastes as good as when I had it when I was 7 or whatever it was. So awesome. I'm looking forward to this beer bracket. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and eventually we're going to king, the beer of the summer. So looking forward to that. So make sure to check out our other channels, our other playlists and videos, which we're going to be highlighting those and drinking the beer throughout that one. Okay, Junior, are we going to jump right in? We have the topics here at the bottom what we're going to touch on.
Let's do it.
And so first up, last week, Floyd Mayweather had an opportunity to meet with Logan Paul and promote this fight that's going on in Miami on June 6th. Now, just a little background here on these guys. So Logan Paul has a couple of fights under him. I don't believe he has any wins. I think he might have a draw against his KSI.
Yeah.
And he's weighing in 50 pounds heavier and 6 inches taller than the 51-0?
50-0.
50-0 Floyd Mayweather. So did you get an opportunity to take a look at this and check out that presser?
Yeah, I did. I still have trouble with this. Like when you look at the odds on this fight right now, Mayweather's minus 2,500 and Logan Paul's a plus 800. So the theatrics that they put on, it stunk. Like it just, like they were trying too hard. And
yeah.
I mean, like if Floyd thinks he's gonna get like a payday like he did with McGregor, he needs to get his head checked.
Well, this fight was already postponed originally.
Yeah.
Because I think what they tried to do is they tried to have you pay up front for the fight before the fight even kind of.
And no one was doing it.
No one was buying, right?
I wouldn't blame them because, when you look at what Floyd made in that McGregor fight, I think it was like $280 million.
Something like that. It was definitely 9 digits.
And then Conor took home 130. And then you look at what Floyd did with that money. It was buying possessions and a strip club. And what did Conor do with that? He built an empire. So for me, for a guy who's 50-0,
yeah,
put your record back on the line and fight a real fighter. I get it. You're trying to get hot and you're trying to get your name back in everyone's mouths because you've been sitting on the sidelines and no one really cares about you anymore. And you're seeing, Tyson come back with Roy Jones and, everyone's looking for that kind of stuff. But no one asked for this fight. I don't think anyone wants this fight, to be honest with you. I'm just looking like, I think Conor said it best when he was like, fight someone, fight against your record, or shut up. And I don't think Floyd's going to do any of that stuff. This guy's notorious at not being able to take care of money, and I think this is just another situation he's got himself into when he's buying $6 million watches and drives a Bugatti off the lot and goes back and buys another one because he didn't like the color when he got it off the lot. Like, this guy is just he's a great fighter. I'm not going to say anything about guy's 50-0, but I don't know. Walk away. Just walk away.
Just let it be. Well, you know what? You kind of hit the nail on the head when you said, what he did with his money. He loves to buy. I saw a video of his garage, and it's like, one all black car after the next all black car, and Bentley and Rolls. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, they all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
I get it, but you can only drive so many cars, and for the most part, he's probably not driving them. So
no.
I'm not excited to watch this fight, although I will, and that's more just to kind of see Floyd. I think Floyd's, regardless of his age and the age difference and the size difference of 50 pounds. I mean, look, if Logan Paul catches him, there's a chance that Floyd could go down. He's no spring chicken.
No.
50 pounds, that's going to be a heavy punch. And listen, take the hat off to Logan Paul. I mean, he does train. He's doing his thing. I mean, he is all in, on this fight. But again, this is for money.
Yeah.
This is not for the pride of being a boxer and being well known and being documented champion, etc.
Listen, the one thing I'll say about Logan Paul is he's done a pretty good job repairing his image that he destroyed a few years ago. This is just another step. He stayed out of the spotlight. His brother kind of took over, and he stayed there in the back, still doing his thing. And I think, this is, again, just another way for him to kind of get back into the spotlight a little bit. He takes it very serious, which is what you want to see. Obviously, him and his brother, they're two different beasts. Jake don't give a crap about nothing. He's just a kid.
He's the younger one, too, right?
Yeah,
and he's seen his brother get the success, and he's just trying to, he's in it for the clout.
Yeah, and that's good for him. I kind of like the angle that he plays a lot, trying to be the villain. And but again, this is not a fight that I'd pay for. We might cover it on bets, but outside of that, I'll watch the pictures. Like, I'll look at some pictures to see who got knocked out or what happened. I'm not going to spend money on this. I think I think Connor said that no one's paying for a fight you're going to watch on Twitter. Like,
well, that's exactly the thing, right? Someone will be streaming on Twitch, or it'll be on YouTube an hour later. But check us out on YouTube and make sure to hit that subscribe and notifications button, because we are going live here and there, and we got a lot of content that we're constantly pushing out. So please comment below what you'd like to see, and we're really excited about that.
Or if there's something we ain't covering and you think we should, let us know. We're totally open. We do this stuff for you guys, so we thank you for the followers we've gotten to this point. We've hit some pretty good milestones in terms of content that we've pushed out, so we're super stoked. So if there's something you guys want to see, we're totally open to doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we did a Kentucky Derby bets show, Junior, and that kind of blew my mind away that we did that. But you know what? Those picks were pretty good.
We actually made money. We actually made some pretty good money.
We did pretty good on the Kentucky Derby, and we're going to get to that later on this, as you see below. Jake Paul and Mayweather's security team. Okay, so he's up in his face, and Mayweather saying basically, hey, I'll take both of you guys on the same night. And listen, I actually think Mayweather could probably do that. I mean, he's such a defensively sound boxer. Yeah. There's a good chance maybe they don't even get a shot in on this guy.
No, I mean, he's his entire career, he's a counterpuncher. So he punches off of the action you bring to him. Yeah. So, obviously, if they've got the right kind of guy in there teaching Logan, that you just listen, you're talking about a guy in his entire career, the road work that he's put in. He's not running, a K a day. The guy's running like 5K a day. Yeah. The guy's put in so much road work that this guy could box 60 rounds if he needed to. So I definitely think he could fight both these guys in one night if he wanted to. I think he'd probably get more money, better paid if he did do that, because
that'd be a better ticket, right?
Yeah, I don't even know what he's going to walk away from with this fight. Especially if the pay-per-view dollars are low, you might be talking like $5 or $6 million, and that's a watch to Floyd. So I don't know if it's really worth his time, but
Now, the exchange between Jake Paul and the security guards and the got your hat, situation there, and then he kind of just got mauled, and I think he got he got a little cut or something under the
Yeah, I think
eye.
he got popped.
Right?
But to see him in a tattoo shop afterwards eating an egg salad sandwich, getting that thing tattooed on his leg was just
You know
absolute
what?
hilarity.
For a minute there, I actually thought that was his house. I think he's got a tattoo chair in there.
Okay, maybe he was at home.
I think he might have been. I think he might
have.
have been in his living room, which is another crazy aspect of that. But this kind of coming off the Jake Paul fight against what's the guy's name?
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren. Everybody's yelling fix. Is it possible the fix could be in on a fight like this?
I don't know. I don't. I only think that if Floyd was going to be a part of a fix, he better be guaranteed gate. And I mean, like, the guy's going to need a couple $100 million to do something like that. He's Floyd ain't getting out of bed for $6 million to throw a fight. I don't think the Askren fight was BS though. I think Ben Askren was.
Well, I mean, Ben Askren was kind of just standing there, and
look, the guy's never made that kind of money in his life. So you dangle that money in front of him, he's going to take a punch and he's going to go down, and he's going to get up with a smile on his face and say, "Hey, babe, we're banked. We're banked for life now."
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
If he did that, then good on him. He took an opportunity, he made the cash, and he's going to go chill. So it is what it is. But Floyd might need the money. I don't think Logan does. But I think the fix, on this is it. Listen, I'll tell you this: if Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy was taking care of the promotion of this fight, then I would tell you it's 100% fixed, because that guy fixes everything. He would fix a dance contest for his daughter if he had to. the guy is just absolute oh my God, I don't even want to talk about Canelo and Triple G. Like, I'm not getting into that. But that guy fixes everything. So if he's not on the card and he's not running this, then I don't think it's fixed.
Okay. Do you want to put a pin in Mayweather, Paul?
Yeah, I think we deflated that balloon enough.
All right. So let's move on to Elon. Obviously, he had a big week.
Very big week.
A lot of things going on that front. Dogecoin, SNL of it all, coming out with, his condition with having Asperger's. What are kind of your initial thoughts on Elon this week? I believe he launched a whole bunch of rockets as well, right?
Well, he launched 60 satellites into space this week, on top of Tesla dropping almost 2 points. He slapped the ass of Dogecoin. They lost about 36% of their valuation. The Asperger's thing, that's very intriguing, especially with him, because he is in the spotlight. I mean, the guy's a cult icon. Guy's been on Rogan. Look at the groups that are on like LinkedIn about him. Like, people worship the ground this guy walks on. So for him to come out with saying that he's got Asperger's, it's like he's still in the public face. So that's a huge challenge for him, and he's dealing with that. So hats off to him. I don't think the save that he tried to make on Dogecoin worked, because they're still dropping. I don't know. What did you think about the SNL spots?
He's not. There's no secret he's not the funniest guy, although he has his moments, right? It's a drier humor with him. I listened to all the Rogans where typically he ends up and kind of is pretty. I'm not gonna say outspoken, but he kind of shares his personality.
He does.
You don't really get much else in terms of a lot of people. You're not really going to get a lot, but once they hit Rogan, it's a different story. And he's been on there 2 or 3 times now, and I've heard all those pods. I love Elon. I think he's just a brilliant guy, and he wants to help as many people as possible, and help save the planet, etc. SNL, again, in my opinion, SNL isn't the SNL of our generation, right? It's just it's just not up to scratch for me. So I don't watch a ton of it unless the guest is really there. Now, the interesting point about SNL is that he drew a ton of viewership, when you compare to, I believe it was Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock,
Yeah.
who kind of topped him for viewers. And I mean, these are top comedians.
Yeah.
So, there's an interest there with the public of having Elon come on. So I hope to see him more kind of in and around public and in these different spaces where you can hear him talk, because he's a brilliant guy.
He is. And, the one thing you kind of hit on the head was that he's actually trying to do something with the resources that he's made. This isn't a billionaire who's looking to, sit back and, I don't know, give computers to libraries across the world, which is great because it's needed. But this guy's trying to, instill massive change. We're not talking about little things. Like, this guy's building rockets that fly up and come back down and land on their own. And he's trying to put a satellite link into space so that he can provide free Wi-Fi. Like, this guy's trying to change the world for better. But it just shows you how courageous this guy is and everything that he has done and the impact that he's made, that, so many people who, might not be from, an engineering background or a tech background, or, guys he's made tons of money on the stock market, but just regular people, they're interested in this guy.
And he's a hands-on guy too, right?
He
likes to get down there. He wants to work with the other engineers. He wants to come up with ideas, craft new, methods. He's not a CEO that kind of sits back and lets everybody. He wants to be involved. He's a hands-on kind of guy. When you mention, some of the other stuff that he's doing, kind of, help society, help the planet, etc. I mean, he wants to go to Mars because he's building a backup plan.
Yeah.
Something goes down, a meteor hits, Earth, whatever the case might be. He's trying to build a backup plan here.
Yeah.
So, you gotta admire a guy like that. And
well, where was it? I think there was an island that had no power. I think they were running off of like century-old generators. So he went down there. He created these power packs, these battery cells, hooked them up to solar panels, and basically connected the entire island for free. Now they've all got power. They've got heat. They've got hydro. Like, they have everything. And this guy didn't ask for a dime. Like, he is literally trying to attack small issues and get rid of them. So, I'll say minds like this are they're needed by the planet. And I think if there's ones out there who maybe aren't being heard, get in touch with Elon. Like, this guy will sit down and chat with you. He'll fly to wherever you are, and he'll sit down and chat. If you've got a solution to problems, he's all about it. He'll put his resources behind it. So,
I was reading something that said, like, people are, not that he's the guy coming up with all the ideas, but kind of like an Einstein pioneer of this generation, right? I mean, he's really trying to make that leap forward and do something that hasn't been done before.
Just no bombs. Don't build any bombs, please.
You got to appreciate that. Yeah, I know. Awesome. Okay, so I think we'll put a pin in Elon and we'll move over to Top Shot. There's been some interesting releases a little bit, and we kind of touched on Dogecoin, but now we're moving into the NFT world and what that looks like. I know we're both big fans. Of course, we like collecting general stuff, sports memorabilia, cards. Go check out our YouTube channel that has cardboard cutouts. Our first episode will be coming up with a second episode soon, telling you how to get back into the industry and stuff like that. But Top Shot is an NBA NFT, which is a non-fungible token. And these are basically highlight moments. Now, I know you've kind of got in a little bit before me. And we're kind of jockeying to try to get as many packs as we can, because we do see the value of this stuff.
Huge.
And the upside, the resale market is massive. There are tons and tons of opportunities for this. What are your initial thoughts kind of on Top Shot? Because it is still very new and people haven't really got into it just yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was turned onto it by you, like, maybe even a couple months ago. I didn't really hear too much about it, but if you look at since their beta had completed, which I think was about 2 months ago, they've had 800,000 account activations. So Dapper Labs,
they can't even keep up.
No,
they're telling you got to come back in 24 hours when they drop something. We can't even get you. We can't even get you an account.
Yeah, how many queues have we been kicked out of because they're pausing the lines?
Tons.
Dapper Labs is a little lab out of Vancouver, and they are responsible for creating the NBA Top Shot NFT. They've had about 500 million in sales in the last 2 months, and
Unreal.
Dapper Labs is now valued at about $2.6 billion. There's still a ton of hype. They're still evolving, which is what you want to see from this sector. You know, a lot of NFTs, it's like, okay, here's a picture that I've digitized, or, you know, here's a meme that I'm trying to monetize.
Yeah.
But they're giving you digital moments and memories that you're having, you know, an ownership in. And, you know, they just came out with an option to trade back the moment. So if you don't like it, you can trade it back to them. No, I'm sure they'll try and resell it, but they'll give you a certain amount of points. And then once you get to a certain amount of points, you can actually take those points and buy exclusive packs with it. So, you know, they're always evolving this offering, and that's what I like to see. You know, if it was like, okay, here's a pack for, you know, $12, just buy it and have a good day. But no, there's so much that goes into these things, and, you know, if you haven't seen one opened, I think we've got one.
We've got one. Yeah, we have an opening. It was a 5-pack. I don't remember the name of the pack. I believe it was
Hustle and Show.
Hustle and Show. That's right. Yes.
So we grabbed a Hustle and Show pack, pulled 5 moments. I think we had a LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, that's right.
And a couple of other really nice, like, low serial moments.
Yeah.
And you know, I enjoyed opening it. We opened it live, and I think, you know, that worked out. I picked up a couple more packs since then, and we got another drop, I think, the end of this
14th,
week.
yeah.
So, you know, I'm really enjoying it. And, you know, to look at the NFTs outside of Top Shot, I think there was one that just happened with Kurt Cobain's last photo shoot.
That's right.
They basically took his last photo shoot and sold that as an NFT,
which had never been shot, which had never been publicized before.
Never.
So these are exclusive photos that have never been seen before.
This is straight,
in the public, let's say.
Yeah, they're straight out of Geraldo Rivera's, like, Al Capone's treasure chest. Like,
sure,
they haven't hit the light of day. And I think the starting bid on those was like 76 grand. I think the guy should have separated every photo and NFT'd each of those 100%. Photos, and he would have made way more money. There would have been way more interest. I still think it sold for a pretty penny. But, you know, needless to say, I think if you're not on board on NFTs, do a little research and get on board, because everything's being digitized and monetized right now. Gary Vee's been talking about it like crazy. He's like, you need to start making NFTs. Not just, you know, buying them. You got to start making them, because if you've got artwork, or you're an artist out there who's not getting a lot of recognition, build yourself an NFT. You know,
look at Beeple on Instagram. There, you know, he put, you know, his last 5,000 pieces of work together in a collaged NFT and sold for $69 million or something ridiculous like that. You know, I mean, if there's money to be made, it's certainly in that market. You also touched on one thing with the Top Shot, which is kind of got me thinking. It's like, you know, when we buy these packs and we're even getting common players and whatnot, they're still selling for more than the pack's worth.
On most times, yeah.
The resale value in this market is probably more than what the retail value is on any card, like
100%. Because I remember how difficult it is to actually get a decent spot in the queue to be able to purchase a pack. Like, that's the problem. You know, you get in the queue, you could be waiting 2 hours before you get the opportunity to purchase, and that's if they're still available. So, you know, I think they've created that perfect amount where people are coming back trying to get them. And then the new thing they did is they started doing pre-orders. So basically, if you don't have a pack and you've never gotten one, you can get on a pre-order and guarantee yourself a pack, which is a great way, because you're going to get a taste of what the Top Shot is about.
The other really cool thing, and we missed out on this because we didn't have enough cards, I think, in our deck, which was if you have a certain amount of cards in your collection, I guess. Mm-hmm. You get exclusive packs. And so they did the best dunks of the season so far. And, you know, that's something we missed out on. But I also like, what I also really like about Top Shot is they've really figured out a way to get that engagement. And that's through some of these challenges where you need a certain player, you know, 9 players or of whatever series in order to be eligible for an exclusive moment. Yeah. So I spent, you know, maybe an hour going through some of the past challenges and seeing how many people had some of these cards. Mm-hmm. Some of these people were only able to complete, you know, 49 cards were issued out of that one challenge. And once that moment is gone, it's gone forever. It's not coming back.
No.
So, when you look at the resale market, it's like, you might get, someone who's not exciting. The highlight maybe isn't exciting. It could be an assist. We've seen some of those.
Yeah.
But that could be the piece that gets you to another exclusive challenge or an exclusive NFT that you didn't have access to prior.
What was the one we were looking at? It was Damar, right? It was like a gold Damar that was like out of 40 or something.
Yeah.
And
so
I was
0,
like, you know
9.
what? I really want that moment. So I actually went in to see. I didn't have any of the moments required, but what it would cost to actually buy those. And all those moments that you needed to collect that Damar were for sale. But when I started doing the research on how much it was going to be, you literally would have had to have spent about $1,600 to $1,700 just to get that moment.
That's the thing.
That Damar moment was probably worth $20,000. Like that's the insane part.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is, and you told me about this, you put me on, there was a 59 issued of that LeBron dunk.
Yeah.
This is not even a special LeBron dunk. This is an open breakaway dunk, typical LeBron dunk, which we've seen 1,000 times if we've seen it even once. And I'm not sure what the serial number was because it doesn't tell you that, but 0 to 59, if you get 1 or you get 23, which is LeBron's number on the Lakers, that increases the value significantly. So the latest the sale price was 210 USD. 210,000 USD.
And he probably got that out of a $200 pack. Like that's insane.
Unreal. Okay, let's put a pin in Top Shot. Let's move over to the Kentucky Derby. Again, we had a really awesome bet show. Our offside bet show is available Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where we cover NBA, Major League Baseball on Saturdays, and then soccer or football. On Sundays. So please check those out. But we also did a special episode where we covered the Kentucky Derby. And Junior's a big race fan when it comes to horse racing.
Well, not really.
Well, your family is.
My wife's family is all about the horses.
By association.
Yeah, by association.
You got to do your research and put the money down where it was. So talk to me about Medina Spirit and this recent drug test, which tested positive for an anti-inflammatory drug.
Well, firstly, I actually hit the exactor on this, and it paid out quite nicely. The crazy thing is that this horse got caught for using. Well, sorry, the trainer got caught for using.
Famous trainer.
Yes, Bob Baffert.
Most wins.
One of the most decorated, horse trainers in the world. Used betamethasone. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is basically a sedative, but it's a banned substance. So he actually admitted to using the banned substance on the horse. So my question is how much of a Goomba are you that you knowingly use a banned substance on a horse that you're about to put in the Derby? You're not running some, dog and pony show down in upstate New York. This is the Derby. Yeah. And he's not 25. The guy's in his 60s. He should know not to do that. When you look at the Derby and then you start to see why he did it. Derby spending this year, let's talk about the entire card. So there were 14 races. $233 million were spent in bets in these races. That's up 85% from last year, another lockdown Derby. Then you look at the actual Derby race itself, $155.4 million. So that's up 96% from last year.
Unreal.
Now, at this point, there's no plan to pay out the runner-up for first if Medina Spirit is DQ'd. And Medina, the second runner-up was Madaloon, and he paid $23 to place. So he got paid $23 for every dollar just to come in second. Yeah. So if he were to be pushed to first, that'd probably be about 40, maybe $35, $36. So the issue is that so much money was bet on this. They can't start clawing back from people or asking people to return the money they won.
Not going to happen.
They're probably not going to pay it out. But I can tell you that there was a lot of people who had bet the horse that came in second, and especially the horse who came in third, who was Hot Rod Charlie.
That was your pick to win, I think, right?
I liked that horse a lot. He came in third, had a bit of struggles, but couldn't get off, he kind of got boxed in a little bit. But regardless of the fact, I don't think that they're going to be paying anything back, and I've already started to hear some rumors that there will be lawsuits against TwinSpires, who kind of runs the betting.
Not surprised.
So, it's also very interesting to see about the Preakness. Now, if you're interested to see what our picks are going to do this year, we will be doing a Preakness show for Saturday, and we'll run through it. Hopefully we find out, whether Medina Spirit's in it or not. But if not, there's still going to be a really good selection of horses to wager on. And the Preakness is in Pimlico, which is in Maryland.
Yeah. When is that? When's the Preakness happening?
This Saturday.
Awesome. So we'll have a bet show on that, and we'll give you a breakdown. So that'll be available Saturday morning then. Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So any final thoughts on the Kentucky Derby? I mean, just one final thought from me. I'm outraged that these horses are not tested prior to entering the gate. I don't know why. I can't imagine that it takes a long time to identify these drugs. I could be wrong. I'm not a horse racer. I certainly don't work in a lab. But if you have this much money on this kind of betting, and people have thrown away those tickets where they had those horses winning and all this other stuff, exactors, when you start looking at start building that out, there's hundreds of probably millions of dollars that were lost or left on the table here. Mm-hmm. Is that reality? Like, is that a realistic approach to horse racing so that this doesn't happen again? Like, has this happened in past? What has been the repercussions? Like, what's the history on this?
The one thing I would look at is, number one, the heavy favorite in this race was nowhere to be found. Mattress Smackdown in Houston, that man lost a very large amount of money. I think it was over $2 million that he had bet on that horse. So the track still made a pretty penny because a lot of people were betting on the favorite. Now, the issue with the testing is, I don't think, if you were to have taken a test on the horse in the morning before the race and then processed it prior to, don't know how quick it would be or how accurate it would be, but it would also give them time to put something else into the horse as well. So, it's almost like I'm pretty sure it's pretty strict. They don't screw around with this because there's so much money involved. I just think sometimes things just sneak through, and then after the fact, when they do the test again after the race, something might spike a little bit that causes the curiosity to see if it was there prior to the race in the morning test, to see if okay, well, this spike here wasn't in the morning, so you gave the horse something before he was put into the gate. But I'm sure that the spike was there after and the spike was there before, and they figured out exactly what it was. Now, it was used as a sedative, so it wasn't like he was trying to, Ben Johnson this horse up, because the horse was still pretty good. I don't know if Ben Johnson could beat the horse. I think he did. Didn't he race a horse?
I'm not sure about that.
There was race anything for money.
He did have that promo where it was what was that energy drink? It's like I cheetah all the time, right? So maybe he raced the cheetah. I mean, he definitely would have lost that race.
Yeah, I think he did. He didn't really win that many races after the fact, but I think they do take it serious, and I don't think it's rampant. I don't think everyone's trying to shove needles in the horses' butts. 10 minutes to a race just to give them that kick. It's not Olympic running. It's not, anything like that. But, it's still clean. I wouldn't worry too much about it. They'll figure it out at the end.
Okay, Junior, let's put a pin in Kentucky Derby. Let's talk about the Kronenbourg 1664. Usually, I mean, these beers have been around for, so many years. They don't usually have a story. So there's nothing really to share here with you.
No.
Bottle is lager beer brewed with savoir faire since 1664. So what are your thoughts on this beer?
It's a decent beer. I mean, what was this, like, 2 and change for a tall can? So, I mean, the price is
like
there for you.
$2.40 maybe?
Yeah, the price is there. I mean, it's not going to blow your mind. It's very palatable. Like, it's not going to, kill your mouth. You're not going to walk around with dragon breath after drinking this.
Yep.
It's very light. It's a blonde, so it's not going to be too heavy on you. But yeah, I think for the value of this, $2.25, $2.40, it's a decent beer. It's not something that I'm going to seek out, but it's not bad. I don't have a bad aftertaste, so.
Yeah, no, it's got a nice overall, flavor profile. It's light, like you mentioned. I see myself drinking this at the barbecue or
For sure. Backyard place.
something like that. We're going to be matching it up now against a Carlsberg.
Yeah.
So, this is, has been a sponsor of, various soccer or football, EPL over many, many years and other tournaments. We got Pioneers of Purity. So we Danes aren't keen on keeping secrets. So in 1883, when we discovered how to purify yeast for better beer, our founder shared this knowledge freely with other brewers. That's very kind.
Mm-hmm.
Which means every good beer in the world probably has a bit of our know-how in it. Skal. Okay, so let's give the Carlsberg here a try.
Skål.
Skal.
By appointment to the Royal Danish Court.
There you go. It's the beer of kings.
It's the Volvo of the beer world. They share their secrets with everybody.
Yeah. Another likely to be, lighter beer. I've had Carlsberg obviously tons of times before, but let's see how it fares today. So this is a Danish Pilsner. All right, cheers.
Cheers. Okay. A little more distinct.
Yeah, it's got a bit more distinct. A little bit more flavor, a little more punchy.
A little more hoppiness.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our second half here. So so for Ben Affleck, it's from one Jennifer to another, right? So,
yeah, exactly. This guy loves Jens.
Co-parenting with Jennifer Garner here. Jennifer Lopez recently becoming single or back on the market after A-Rod cheating,
or didn't do something.
Not, I don't know. Allegedly, we don't know.
I think Jose Canseco had a hand in that. That man just has it out for A-Rod. Like, any point that Jose Canseco, if you call up Jose Canseco right now and you don't know who he is and you just want to talk A-Rod, he will talk your ear off. That man absolutely hates Alex Rodriguez. So I'm saying it right here. Jose Canseco broke up J-Lo and A-Rod.
Allegedly.
No, he did it.
Okay, so we got Ben Affleck. He's coming hot off the heels of the story last week that basically said he was on Tinder, reached out to a girl, tried to, matched with her, and she's like, oh, this has got to be a bot, fake, catfish, etc. Now they're back for round two. Now, the interesting thing here is that J-Lo is known for, kind of coming back, right? She's done or been with Mark Anthony, I think twice now as well, who she has children with. You got Ben Affleck here, Batman coming back. Is it Bennifer? Is that what we were saying?
Bennifer. That's the nickname their couple has.
So, I mean, what's the shelf life on something like this? One other thing before you give me the response. The interesting thing with Jennifer Lopez is she just can't be single. It doesn't seem like she can just be on her own.
No, she's like that friend in the group who just, she changes boyfriends like clothes. Like it doesn't stop. If on Affleck's kind of point, the guy took a gut punch from Mike Tyson by that girl unmatching him on Tinder. But then Stalker Boy had to send her a video saying, but wait, no. It's really me. It's me. Like, I matched with you. Maybe she just wasn't into you, dude. So just take a hike. Like, back off.
Yeah.
But then, like, to see Flabby Batman then just gets back together with his ex-wife, like, I think J-Lo is starting to turn into this generation's Elizabeth Taylor.
It's interesting. As you were just saying that, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, like, sweetheart, do your kids, have a good time. You've got more than enough money to do that. Just relax. You need some alone time. Sit on a beach. Let the rays hit you. Let the Caribbean air just enter your lungs. Like, you don't need to hop, because that Ben's gonna propose to her in like a week and a half. Like,
they'll be remarried, right? Yeah. No.
he's expiring like a bad cheese right now. So he's trying to get something while he can.
All right, I think we'll just put a pin in that because this is like,
sorry, hot topic.
Yeah, we had to hit the trending piece, and we're checking a box here, guys. So we appreciate you bearing with us through that. Right over to Kobe.
Yeah,
will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I got the magazine right over here where I met him in Toronto.
Did you see the slams that they're coming out with?
So they have the slam. It is $60 USD to have it to Canada for all our Canadian folks here. The purple metal print edition is already sold out, but they likely do have some left of the 300-page plus, I think, of Kobe and his
life retrospect.
I mean, I can't say enough about him. I mean, I hated him because he's so darn good, and he was very, very close to
Raptor Killer.
Well, Raptor Killer, 81 points, his highest. But also, I am, this, I am just the biggest fan of this guy.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. Not so much this guy, but I have to give him the credit, and that's why he's up here, because he deserves his face to be on Mount Rushmore. But this is the guy, and then that's the guy.
Yeah.
For me. Both play very, very similar. I mean, you could say that Kobe modeled his game very much after Jordan.
100%.
I mean, he definitely has his own flair to it, but you look at the template and you look at the coaching, there's a couple things that are very consistent here. Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan and championships.
Yeah. But, I mean, everyone that you meet, you take a little bit from them. That's who we are as human beings, right?
Absolutely.
Talk to any basketball player, a certain shot, a certain jab step, a certain drive they took from their idol. It's funny that no one says, I got this dribble stop, from Bob Cousy. No one's talking about Bob Cousy anymore. It's all Jordan because that's the relevance. And Kobe and Kobe had Mike's ear. Whenever Kobe wanted to talk, Mike was there to talk.
Call him up.
That was it. And I would have loved to have been an FBI agent bugging those phone calls just to hear what was going on, because there was some trash talking going on, 100%.
Absolutely.
And then I'm interested to see what this new Laker doc is going to look like. I don't know when that's coming out, but hopefully they'll spend more time on Kobe and the Magic era rather than this new era with LeBron.
It's a very short era. I don't know that you can command that much attention when you look at it. I mean, Kobe played for the Lakers for 20 years.
Yeah, but Jeannie
Buss no one has ever done that. No one has played with. I don't know if anybody's played with any team for 20 years. I mean, we'd have to look in the books to see if that's even happened.
Yeah.
20 years of anything is a very, very long time.
And then to think about who he got traded for.
Yeah. And just how much,
for those not knowing, it was Vlade Divac.
Yeah. And I don't even want to talk about like Sacramento and
who got ripped off there.
Yeah. But when you think about Kobe and the ups and downs that Laker team went through, because there was highs, but there was also lows.
Big lows.
There was a few years where they were just not competitive and not good. And for an elite athlete like that to stay,
it's tough.
At that team and continue to go, when you can go to any other team, you can win championships. I'm like a big hater on this.
Yeah.
I don't like recruiting. I don't like this team up stuff. I think when you get drafted, it should be almost impossible for you to leave that team. I think you should get, if you want to leave your current team to go to another team, the max contract is 2 years. It's low money.
Yeah.
You got to make it difficult for these guys to leave. That's how I feel about it. No, I get it. These are human beings.
Yeah.
They want to be able to command their career. I understand that, but that's the risk that they have to take.
But
when you look at some of these small market teams getting beat up, I don't like it.
They are. But you also have to think, like, our thought process is we grew up with hockey, right? And that's how hockey was. I still remember when Wayne got traded from Edmonton to LA.
He was the bad guy.
Everyone in the world was like, but how? How does that happen? That can't happen. You can't do that. where, you know, a majority of the guys in the 70s and 80s, you know, they stuck around for good or for bad. It was like once you got drafted, you were married to that team, and it was very hard to divorce
Loyalty, right?
It was about loyalty too, you know. But when I look at Jeannie Buss putting LeBron in her all time Lakers, I don't know if that's just to appease the ego that is LeBron, because that's what he is. He's a walking, talking ego. You know, to even mention his name never mind alongside Michael Jordan, because I could do, you know, a podcast series on why people need to stop comparing these two. But to even
different
put LeBron,
eras,
it's different eras,
just different
but
eras, different people, different position. Like everything is very, very different.
How about this? I'll sum it up for the world very quickly. LeBron is Magic. Those are the two guys you compare each other to: LeBron and Magic.
But everybody wants to talk GOAT, right? They want to talk greatest of all time. Now, taking nothing away from LeBron, he's got tons of records, and he'll probably break them all in a lot of ways, right? Points, games played, whatever you want to talk about. It's fine. Yeah. Don't tell me that Michael Jordan isn't scoring 45 a night in this era.
More.
The athleticism is unmatched as far as I'm concerned. The defensive ability, the defensive player of the year. I mean, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole here because we can go on for hours. I will debate anybody on the fact that Michael Jordan has a better overall career. I'm not even going to go 6-0 versus 3-9 or 4-10 or whatever it is.
Soon to be 4-12 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to go there, but you know, we all know LeBron deserves his respect. He deserves his face on the mountain.
Hey,
There's no denying that.
He's a great ball player. He's not top 5 for me, though. But anyway, back to Kobe, because that's what this is all about.
And the shoe. This is the Hall of Fame Nike Kobe ProTro. 5. Undefeated release. LeBron actually got. I know we have a segment on LeBron here.
Don't worry. We're going to trash him soon.
He got his pair today or yesterday or last night of these Undefeated. So he got an early release of them. I mean, let's talk about the shoe for a minute. What do you think about the shoe?
Not my favorite colorway.
I'm not a fan either. I get it, the Hall of Fame. I get the whole thing.
The gold, the purple. Yeah, for sure.
I don't like them.
I think the shoe itself is
unbelievable shoe.
Unbelievable shoe. So many better colorways. I think they could have done a lot better with this shoe in terms of Undefeated. Now, you know, all the sneakerheads and these guys that just think they're hype beasts are going to be buying these shoes for just
if because they can even get them.
If they can get them to resell them, or, you know, show them that they're a hype beast and they can
I would buy just to resell. These are going to command a very, very high price tag.
That's it. That's all I would do. I wouldn't wear these. And the thing with me is, I don't even bother with the resale market. I know you dabble in it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when it's
easy money. It's easy money.
No, it is.
I buy something that I know that I would want to wear myself if I can't sell it for the price that I want to sell it for.
Yeah, but me, when I buy a pair of shoes, I buy them to wear them.
I get it.
I have a lot of shoes. I have tons of shoes. I get yelled at because I have shoes everywhere.
Same here.
But I'm not buying a pair of shoe to keep in the box to try and resell. Wear your shoes, guys, girls. Just wear them.
I get it, and that's coming right to me because I do not wear my shoes.
I know you don't.
I have.
How many boxes are under the bed now?
Easily, I have 30 plus pairs of Jordans, brand new in the box, and I can count on 2 fingers how many of those I wear that are actually Jordans and that I wear out. And you know what? When I first started collecting Jordans, it was because I wanted them when I was younger. And there's no way my parents are going to spend that amount of money on a pair of shoes. It just wasn't going to happen. I didn't get my first pair of Nikes, I think, until grade 5, and I never looked back. Never owned a pair of Reeboks, never owned a pair of Adidas. Not my style of shoes. I will never own a pair of those shoes, period.
Yeah.
You know, I got an advance on my birthday and Christmas gift. My birthday's in November, to get my first pair of Air Jordan 11s. I wore them once to high school, and I wore them on my wedding day. That's it. Those shoes are done. The next time I wear those is when you see me in a coffin.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, those are never going to be worn again. Those are my shoes. That's it.
My first pair of J's, I was in grade 4. They were the military blue 4s.
Those are coming out again.
They are, and I've been trying to cop those every time they've been re-released, and just not been successful in doing so.
I'll help you out and make sure we get those.
So I kind of settled. I've got the Black Laser 4s. I've got the Motorsports. So to me, it's my bag is the 4s. I love the 4s.
Yeah, I know. Those are a big fan. Again, that's the nostalgia talk kicking in, right?
It's because that was the first pair of J's I had.
And look, I've actually did wear a pair of 4s. I ended up selling them, and I had a couple other pairs of 4s that I sold. Another reason why I don't wear them, yes, they're kind of comfortable, but the reality for me is if I'm going to be in a shoe all day long, I need something that's way more comfortable than that.
They're tough.
It's heavy. It's blocky.
Yeah,
you know, I get Jordan playing in them. You know, in that era, that would have been,
a light shoe,
a lot better than and a lot better than what was out there in terms of technology and cushioning for a guy.
I had a pair of those Magic high top Converse, those ones from that commercial, and
I remember those.
81. Yeah. I had a pair of those Magic Johnson high top Converse, and those things weighed like 18 pounds on each foot. So switching to a Jordan was like I started to grow more. Yeah, those shoes were like weighing me down.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and then I picked up the Fire Engine 5s recently. So yeah, it's pure nostalgia. I love to wear the shoes that I was wearing when I was 11 years old.
Agreed. So Nike Kobe 5 ProTro, and those are dropping, I think, this week or next, maybe tomorrow. I think they're dropping tomorrow, actually.
Yeah,
or today.
But I also want to send a big shout out to Vanessa Bryant in the face of all the adversity that you've been dealing with, to come out with that Mambacita piece and to see the buy-in that's been going on is absolutely phenomenal. And I love that the entire NBA got behind it. So I wish you nothing but luck, like respect, and everyone in this world loves you because of who you are and the girls that you raised. So
it'll be interesting to see also with the fact that the contract is up. Mm-hmm. We know this, right? This is also recent news. Nike and Kobe's contract is now up. It'll be interesting to know if this is the last Kobe shoe that's going to be coming out over the next several years or so.
Oh, I don't know. They just released a reverse Grinch.
I saw that too, but there may be some shelf life or some extension on that model. We looking at Yeezy. We were talking about this yesterday. We're looking at the Red Octobers and stuff like that from Yeezy when they had that Nike contract, and they're going to be coming out with that. But they had to go to Kanye to get that sign off to say, hey, let's bring this shoe back, right? So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I know Kobe had ambitions before he passed to kind of start his own shoe and his own line. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens over the next, I would say, year or so to see what that legacy looks like.
Hopefully he already had it set up and it was ready to go, and he was just waiting for this to. This
is easily the most weird shoe in the NBA. I don't think it's close.
Not even close.
I think the close second is going to be very, very far, and it might be like a Durant or Kyrie or something like that. But this is easily the most worn signature shoe in the NBA.
I don't know, those first Jordans that Zion was wearing. Those seem to still get a lot of shelf life. A lot of
I'm not gonna hate on them, but I mean, for me, Jordans after, even 18 would be a bit of a stretch. But there was a lot of good technology in that shoe, so I can't deny it. I've had them, I played in them. Those Mellow 18s were very, very strong quality carbon fiber plate, double stacked Zoom Air, very, very good quality shoe. Let's move on to Connor, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So Connor, proper 12, 600 million. This is a big sale. I mean, he put the time in, and this is something that he would have been working on for some years now, because when you're looking at a 12-year, Scotch whiskey, whatever it is, that's an extreme amount of time to wait for something to kind of come into production. Now, obviously, he hasn't been involved in 12 years, but to cash out $600 million on what I'm going to guess is a smaller investment. He's bringing you the name. He's bringing you the marketing of this. Let me get your take on that.
Listen, Mystical Mac, everything this guy touches turns to gold. He turned that 130 mil that he got from that Floyd fight, and he's built a very strong empire. So I think he invested in, but he knew the guy that was doing this, so he kind of had some insight and input into this whiskey as it was going through.
Yeah,
I kind of had my doubts, being a Jameson guy, so I decided to flip a coin, and I got proper 12, and you know what? It's actually really good. I was super super surprised, and to see that he turned that into a $600 million cash out, I'm not surprised. Dana White even said it when he came out to say that he was getting into the whiskey game. Dana White said this guy is going to turn it into $1 billion industry. Well, he almost cashed out $1 billion by just being involved in it. So.
Yeah.
I love everything this guy does. I love the way he carries himself. I love the way he fights. Win, lose, or draw, he's a champ, and he handles himself with the utmost dignity, other than the whole Khabib thing. But, Khabib got under everybody's skin.
And
So
the punching the old guy thing in the bar, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, it's just not a good look for him. I mean, he needs to be more composed.
But he's just another fellow Irishman. That's just how we are. We don't think, we just do.
My thing with Conor is he's just too comfortable. I think when he faces off against Poirier, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because this is not until July, but I think when he fights Poirier, I think you're going to see a carbon copy of the last fight. I really don't think he's got much left, if anything at all. I don't see him beating Poirier. Poirier's taking this fight really. He shouldn't really be taking this fight. He's taking this fight because of money. This is the money fight for him. This is what's going to draw and give him a big purse. This is not the fighter. That's not the fight that he needs to kind of move up and try to get a title shot.
This is where I disagree with you. Poirier had a title shot. Dana gave him a title shot. He said, you can have your title shot or you can fight Conor again. And Poirier chose to fight Conor again.
There's more money there, though. The money is not the same.
Of course there's more money because this guy draws. The pay-per-views are just through the roof. But let me tell you why this is a smart idea for Poirier to take this fight. Number one, it is the money. But number two, it's a draw. Right now, it's 1-1. There has to be a deciding fight. If you're going to kill the legend and be that guy that's the legend killer, the Randy Orton of the MMA world where you just kill legends, you need to take this fight. But I'm going to tell you why Conor's going to come out different. Conor has been too comfortable.
Way too comfortable.
On these yachts.
He's the guy. He needs someone to kick him in the ass a little bit.
On the yachts with the caviar and the cigars and the weed and the whiskey. But he already came out and said, I will be leaving my family for training camp. They will not be joining me. They will not be coming to the fight. And I am coming out like a junkyard dog. So when he says he's going to do something like that, you can be for damn sure there's going to be a different result.
But listen, a couple days ago on Instagram, he's there facing up against a regular guy. Like, if he's in fight mode,
it's a photo op.
If he's in fight mode, he's not stopping for that. If he's hungry, he's not stopping.
He's not in fight mode yet.
He needs to be in fight mode now. He needs to be mentally ready for that fight. I don't see him coming out and doing anything different. I think Poirier is a very, very different fighter from when they first fought. There's many years in between the first and second fight. Poirier has leaps and bounds over Conor, I think, as far as I'm concerned right now. Is Conor going to have if Conor wins this fight, is he primed for a title shot? No. But Poirier was, but he took this fight because of more money.
At any point in time, if Conor calls Dana and says, I want a title shot, he gets it.
No way.
He gets it. No, he won't.
I don't agree.
If he wants to go up a weight class and fight the champ, he'll get it because it's a draw. People want to see McGregor fight.
They're going to see him lose.
Hey, he's got 5 losses under his belt. He's also got 22 wins. He's also held 2 weight classes at one time.
His last fight before Poirier was what? Cowboy Cerrone?
He knocked him out in the first round with a flying elbow. Like
Cowboy Cerrone looks like Ben Askren versus Jake Paul.
No, don't disrespect Cowboy like that. Cowboy's a
Cowboy
fighter.
Is done. He got roasted last weekend. He is finished.
Now
he basically said it himself. He was finished then.
Yeah,
He's been finished.
Connor finished him. Connor ended his career. It was
Yeah, he
that's
broke
what
his
it
nose.
was.
He broke his nose for the 5th time.
Yeah, but he's not a Ben Askren. Like Ben Askren was literally like
Good
Johnny.
fighter. Good
No,
fighter up into the Masvidal fight.
no, he wasn't. He wasn't even a good fighter. That dude was Johnny Utah on the beach trying to learn how to surf, and Jake Paul pulled him out of the rubble and said, "Hey, I'm gonna give you $1 million payday."
Here's a payday for you.
Yeah, you think Johnny Utah, who's busted up knee, is gonna say no? Of course, he's not gonna say no. But that's not that.
All right,
It'll be a good fight.
We'll see what happens, and we'll be previewing it on our channel for sure. We'll definitely have a fight night bets. We'll probably even have maybe a special live episode just for that because there's going to be a lot to talk about for that fight. I don't know who else is on the card, but it's going to be a good card. Very interesting. Definitely, it'll be a high pay-per-view seller. Let's move on to the Will Smith challenge. You wanted to have this on here. I love Will Smith. I have the Fresh Prince
license plate.
I don't have the dice in the mirror, but Will Smith challenge. Let's talk about it. This is a weight loss challenge.
Yeah, he decided that he was getting a little too flubby during the pandemic, sneaking too many muffins from the pantry.
Now, also hot off that red table talk. Yes, it's kind of interesting that kind of landed around, and he started to let himself go.
Yeah, there could be something there. I mean, there was obviously a very strange dynamic there, which makes me think, was she doing that with Tupac back in the day and he was cool with it? I don't know. I'm not insinuating.
It seems like it's a very open relationship. Yeah, and for celebrities, that might be something that works for them because of various temptations, etc. But you could see he was a broken man.
He was.
In that interview.
Inside, yeah. But, you have to give this guy... I mean, he's grown up in our eyes. You know what I mean?
Fresh Prince is one of my all-time favorite shows.
From that show and up till present day, I mean, this guy was off. I don't even think he got on Instagram until he turned 50. But I've got nothing but respect for this guy because he bared everything. Like any Leibowitz style, like everything. His gut, like being out of shape.
We classed it up for this picture. We did.
It's refreshing coming from Cali, where no one runs their own social media anymore, and it's all about taking picture of their kids with $5,000 backpacks on and all that crap. But to watch this guy who's living in our eye and he bears all, he does not hide behind anything. You have to give this guy nothing but a massive amount of respect. And there's people jumping on, like Marky Mark jumped on. There's all these random guys.
I don't believe that he let himself go. He's pretty. He's got the F-45 whole thing. I mean, I see this guy get up at 3 a.m.
He lost a little bit, and obviously, rest.
He's only getting older, right?
Rest in peace, Alma. He did just lose his mom, so he had a transformation too, but I don't know how social media it was, but like Will let himself go and he's back on it and he's working out. But here's the thing, the resources that Will Smith has in terms of equipment and personal trainers, it's very different from me. Okay. And during the pandemic, I did put on a little bit of weight, drinking a little bit too much of this and, all the other stuff and, good barbecue. But anyway, I digress. It's good to see that you're getting back in shape, but
absolutely,
it's good for your health. It's good for your family. It's good for
the career.
It's very good for the career. But when you sit back and think about Joe Schmo from South Carolina who's trying to compete with Will Smith in this challenge, I just don't know how it plays. But nonetheless, Will Smith, good job. I respect you, and I hope you lose the 14 pounds or whatever it is you need to lose. I'm sure it's more. I'm just being
Well, he probably wants to get toned up too. I will say for my part, last year I started on January 1st. I decided to change my diet and my lifestyle a little bit. And, I lost 40 pounds last year. I was kind of on the opposite side of things. Not that I was, significantly overweight. You look at the BMI scale or something like that, it says that I'm like obese. But I mean, really, I'm 6'4".
Everyone's obese.
Exactly. I was weighing 235 at the time, but I got down to about 195 at one point. It was actually a little bit too skinny. for my body frame. It just didn't feel good on me. So I've kind of come up about, 10 pounds. I'm right around, just under 205 right now. I feel a lot better, but, it's amazing what, as much as you want to work out and, get fit and athleticism and all this other stuff, I would say like on it to be very honest. I used to work out a lot and eat right. And I actually had trouble trying to put on weight.
Yeah.
It's 80% of your diet.
It's huge.
It's all about what you're putting into your body. When I lost that 40 pounds, I didn't walk, I didn't run, I didn't lift a weight. It was 100% dietary changes, and that weight just fell right off me. I was fasting at the time, but I mean, it was a game changer. Energy levels right up, everything right up, like completely different.
Huge thing too.
And I felt good. Now I will say it is way more expensive to eat healthy.
Oh yeah.
It is at least double the price. So make sure that you have it in your budget and you're doing it the right way. But I mean, it was game changer for me. But kudos to Will Smith. I mean, he's been a longtime hero of mine for many, many years since Fresh Prince. And I have the California Fresh Prince plate right there. I mean, it tells you everything I need to know about it. Let's put a pin in Will Smith, and we'll move on to LeBron James and the NBA play-in. So LeBron was vocal about having a play-in tournament last year.
Yeah.
Now that he's sitting in that play-in tournament, the tune has changed. What are your thoughts on LeBron James and his feelings about the play-in and where the Lakers are currently sitting?
This just goes back to this is a massive joke. You know what I mean? Like, he stands up and says, yeah, we got to give more opportunity to these other teams, expand the playoffs, do it. You're sitting in the 1 seed. But now that you're actually in the spot where you could go home.
One game. We've talked about this. This is unbelievable.
You could go home, and it's now you're stepping back on the comments you made and trying to hide behind them.
And they're looking to play the Warriors, I believe, right?
I'm just checking that right now.
So they're sitting in 7 with Golden State at 8.
No, they're yes.
So
sorry.
Golden State and Lakers play for the 7th seed, correct?
Yes.
And then the loser plays the winner of Memphis or San Antonio as it stands right now. Listen, you do not want to be playing Steph Curry right now. No. AD, although he had a good game the other night, he is not back.
No. And
LeBron is not back either. His ankle is not good. He said it himself. He will not be 100% for the rest of his career, he's saying. So this is a long-term injury.
But,
I mean, it is LeBron, and we have to give him his credit. I know we trash him a lot, offline, and we sometimes we're gonna be trashing him online. So
I'm gonna trash him right now. 50-foot travels not being called, the flops. You know what he is? He is the GOAT. He is the GOAT of flop.
I mean, I will say that Mo Peterson was an excellent flopper.
He was, but he also wasn't making the money LeBron was, and he wasn't pulling in people off the streets like LeBron is.
Sure.
But LeBron, if you want to walk around like you're the self-proclaimed king of the NBA, you can flop on the court all you want, but don't flop on the stuff that you say. Don't turn around and try and turn it on people. Stand in front of your comments. What you need to be doing, instead of saying, "Oh, whoever created this should get fired," you created it. You put it in motion, so you should get fired. You should just retire because this was your idea.
Now, I will say, hold on. I will say that, in LeBron's defense, if he was in favor of the play-in tournament, and we've talked about this already, and I think we talked about it at our trade deadline video. If you do want to go watch that, you're welcome to. But I think we did mention we don't like the way the play-in is set up. I don't think we're necessarily 100% opposed to it. I'm open for more opportunity and more conversation.
Huge.
More competition. But I think a 1-game sudden death, this is not the way to do it. This needs to be a 2 out of 3 at absolute minimum.
Well, you look at the MLB, and I think the one thing they did with the expanded playoff format last year worked. It worked really well. It gave you some more baseball, but those were best out of 3 series. Best out of 3, and you moved on. So, having this being the way it is, and obviously we're actually going to break this down very shortly in our NBA preview. So
we will be
stay
early
tuned
on that too. So stay tuned
Yeah.
for that. We will be the first ones out with an NBA preview.
And we're going to break that down real clear so everyone understands the levity of the situation of being in that play-in. But at the end of the day, they probably could have done a bit better of a job with this play-in aspect.
Agree.
I don't know. It's tough, because you could be a 7 seed, and like everyone's saying, like I didn't think Luka weighed in on it. It's like you could be a 7 seed where you're running home the last 3 games of the season, and you're like, okay, we're in. Cruise control, rest the stars. Let's get ready for the playoffs. And next thing you know, well, hold on, you got to play Memphis. You got to play Memphis when Ja and JV are going off like crazy.
Man, JV has flourished over there. I mean, I never wanted to see him leave the Raptors, but I mean, he is just.
Or you're going to get 40-pieced by DeMar, and Jakob Portal is going to grab 15 rebounds.
Another guy would have loved to
rebounds.
have kept. Would have loved to have kept Jakob. Love
so
Jakob. Portal.
Love Portal, but that's the situation you're in right now, or you could go up against Steph, who is absolute lights out right now. And that's the danger. So what I'll say to LeBron is, if you don't like it, then you shouldn't drop from a 4 seed. It's that simple. So
I mean, you have the top 2 guys go down in the middle of the season, kind of towards the tail end of the season there, right? I mean,
that's NBA basketball.
Listen, I mean, if LeBron is going to be the GOAT and he wants to be that, and he's a self-proclaimed, I mean, he needs to be able to show up in these moments, ankle or no ankle. When it comes to him playing against Steph Curry, he's going to have to show up, just like he did when he beat Golden State.
Yeah. But it ain't all about him no more. And so we'll see. We'll see.
Really quick, because we're still on NBA a little bit. Russell Westbrook. I mean, he beat Oscar. You know what's unbelievable? And I'm looking up the prop bets. It's like you gotta bet against him not to get the triple-double to get the favor.
You do. Now
like
you
quite
do.
Quite heavily.
Go back and check the bets. I've been hammering him on the triple-double.
Oh yeah, year. I mean, there's been so much money made on him and the Knicks.
So I went today because I do think they played tonight to see what it was, and the odds were minus 2,700 for him to hit a triple-double. So why would I bet it? You're right. You're better off betting against him than you are with him. So I didn't bet against him because he's going to get it. But
it's the same as a prop bet on like Steph plus 30 or 30 plus points. It's unreal. You're going to do right now.
Points, assists, rebounds, and so forget about that.
These guys are automatic right now.
But I think he's had. I'll say this: he didn't have the talent around him. Oscar Robertson didn't have the talent around him that Westbrook did. When you look at the years with KD was not a rebounder. He was not a ball distributor. And then finding himself in Houston in the same situation where there was no dominant rebounder and no dominant playmaker. And then in Washington, Beal's a shooter, So he's kind of gotten to where he is right now because of the teams he's been on. Not to say that it's not fantastic that he's done what he's done in passing Oscar Robertson, but he's had a lot of benefit his entire career with that. But you can't wash that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
You want to try and kill it, but you can't just because it's so damn impressive.
The other thing too is that he draws so much attention on the basketball court, which is why he's able to facilitate the basketball and generate those assists. He's a dog on the rebounds, which is where he ends up picking those up. So he's doing that on his own. Nobody's really helping him in that. Nobody's really helping him to get the points.
No,
and in a lot of cases, with those assists, nobody's really helping him to get those too because he's commanding that defense.
He is.
And so he's giving those opportunities to swing the ball to a free man, get the ball inside, draw that attention and dish it, right? So, I mean, in a lot of ways, he's kind of doing it on his own. I know, compared to Oscar Robertson, it's a completely different – it's a different game altogether at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, kudos to Russell Westbrook.
100%
Congratulations. I mean,
respect.
that is just an unbelievable
Huge.
feat. He stands alone, and the reality is he's going to add to that total quite dramatically. I think. I mean, he's got a different gear that a lot of people do not have,
He's
even
got years
still at
left
this
in him
level.
too. He's got years left in him.
It'll be interesting to see what Washington does over the off season, and fingers
A lot
crossed.
of question marks.
Fingers crossed. I want Beal in Toronto, so I would give almost anything up to bring him here. I think he is an incredible player, extremely underrated, and I think
Huge.
he would fit in with our team, like really, really well. So I hope that can happen. All right, so let's talk about Carlsberg before we hit the wrap.
Yeah, a little more hoppy.
Definitely. It's a bit more flavor, a little bit more bitterness, I'm finding.
I still think it finishes well. Are we going to crown a winner of this round? Or
So I think we talked about this the other day when we were spitballing how we're going to do this. So basically, we're going to each pick who we think won this matchup.
Mhm.
If we end up in a tie, we're going to go to a coin flip, which I don't have.
I got one.
Okay. So why don't you give me your pick first?
I'll go with the Kronenbourg.
I do like the Carlsberg. Both Bergs, eh? One with an E, one with an O.
Well, if you actually check the side of the Kronenbourg, bottled by Kronenbourg Supply Company in Aubernay, France, imported for Carlsberg Inc. There's a relation.
No surprise there.
But though I think, like, if I'm in the backyard with friends and I got the TV out there and the barbecue's going, I just think the Kronenbourg's going to go down a bit nicer.
I agree. It's the first beer I ever tasted. It's a little cleaner. I'm a big fan of lagers that have that really clean taste. I don't want to say watered down, but just like a real smooth crispness to it that really quenches that thirst. I'm going to go with the Kronenbourg as well, so you can keep the coin
ding,
for
ding,
today.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
So Kronenbourg is an upset here, I believe, because they're at the 5th seed.
5 of 4.
So they're going to go up over Carlsberg. We will be doing other beer brackets. Look for the beer bracket logo in our videos, because that will be a beer bracket challenge. And we will continue through with the lagers until we have pushed through 2 winners there to face off in the semifinal in that region. Any final thoughts here, Junior, just generally speaking?
Yeah.
I think you wanted to touch on NHL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Connor McDavid. So 54 games played, still 2 games to go. This 24-year-old phenom with 33 goals and 69 assists for 102 points.
Is it unbelievable that he's only 24 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, he's really not in his prime yet.
I've got some comparisons here. So if we were to extrapolate his numbers over a full year, he over a full 82 game season, he'd be looking at 50 goals and 104 assists on the pace that he's at. So 154 point season would put him in 14th spot all time, highest points per season in the season. So if you want to look at the guy he gets compared to a lot, which is the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
No surprises.
When Wayne was 24, I'm going to ask you, could you tell me how many points Wayne Gretzky had when he was 24 years old?
I have no idea, but I would say that it's a healthy amount of points, probably in the 80 range.
215.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I can't understand how any 24-year-old can be this good.
Yeah. So when he was 20, he had a 206 point season, and he hit over 200 points 4 times in his career. And the number 1 to number 13 spots in the all-time season point total list belong to Wayne Gretzky, who was there 9 times, and Mario Lemieux, who was there 4 times. So
unbelievable.
I just wanted to put a spin on this. So his point per game production is about 1.88, so almost just a bit under 2 points. Now, obviously, you're getting compared to Gretzky, so let's compare you to Gretzky. You're not even close. But in today's game, today's day and age, absolutely phenomenal year. And like we've said before during the NHL show, this kid's getting better, and he's getting quicker, and I'm expecting more from him. So we'll see what the second season and the playoffs do. But definitely, if you're not a hockey fan, just look at some of this kid's highlights, and you might become a hockey fan.
You know what I will say on that is, when Gretzky played compared to this game, I would say that this game is a lot more open.
Yeah.
So it's surprising to me that if you're comparing age to age, points to points, that Gretzky was able to accomplish that. I mean, it's almost like he was a superhuman person to be able to do what he did in that era. A tougher game. We continuously look at eras. I think this goes really across any sports.
It does.
It was tougher before.
Oh, yeah.
Now, competition levels were a little bit different. Maybe you weren't getting those elite level competitors. Maybe.
Yeah.
The other thing is you also didn't have any treatment back then. They give you a bag of ice if you were hurt. Keep it moving, right?
Back then,
you didn't have LeBron.
Of
LeBron was spending, I think he spends like $2 million or something like that just on nutrition, just on food. Right? So he's eating the best quality. He's getting the best treatment. He's getting treatment 3, 4, 5 times a day, maybe, with the best technology available at this time, cutting edge stuff. So it's impressive when you think about that, how amazing Gretzky really was.
So are you saying this generation is weak?
I'm not saying they're weak. I mean, we know that they're soft.
Yeah.
If you want to go that, I'm not going to say they're weak. They probably are likely stronger because of the availability and technology and knowledge of how to build a better man.
Sure.
In a physical way.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're definitely softer. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
But it's just really interesting when we start talking more about hockey, and go check out our hockey playoff preview. We're early on this. It's getting a ton of views right now. We've got some great insights there. Go check that out on our channel. But it's just really interesting to see how incredible Gretzky really was. And I didn't appreciate him then. I'm not sure why. I just, there's a part of me that always kind of goes for the underdog, and I was more of a Mario Lemieux fan than I was a Gretzky fan for whatever reason.
Still, I think Connor's going to go down, on that top list. But I just
tons of career left. Tons of career. I mean,
he's 24. He's got a good 6 years of still growing and getting better before he kind of plateaus. So
might not hit his prime until early 30s, maybe even early 30s. Who knows? This kid has another gear, I think.
Yeah, it's possible.
So awesome. So I think that's a wrap for us. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. We have crowned Kronenbourg the beer of the match
Round one
in the
winner.
lager region. Okay, so Kronenbourg is the winner here. We want to thank you for joining us today at Offside and Out of Bounds, the cast. And we ask you to please subscribe, turn notifications on. We go live. We do various videos. Check out our channel. There's a plethora of information on there. We're going to be back with Offside Eats in the coming weeks, doing some really good spots in Toronto here. And one spot that I'm very, very excited to, but I won't mention it now.
No.
But please go check that video out. And check out our NHL preview and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Offside and Out of Bounds at Offside and Out of Bounds on Instagram. And I'm Offside Adam.
I'm Junior. See
you real soon.